Have you ever pondered why your legs seem to be losing strength, even though you make an effort to eat healthily and stay active? Do the stairs appear higher than they used to? Or does it take more time to rise from a chair? You might attribute it to aging, but what if I told you that one seemingly innocuous daily habit could be silently harming your legs? That habit is consuming certain fruits that we commonly believe are beneficial for our health. Today, I want to share with you a truth that's rarely discussed. Not all fruits are suitable for us once we pass the age of 60. Some fruits, despite being delicious and promoted as healthy, can actually weaken your legs, cause joint pain, and make walking more difficult. In this video, we'll explore 7 types of fruits you should limit, along with healthier alternatives that can keep your legs strong, your body flexible, and your life more comfortable. This isn't about giving up fruit. It's about making the right choices to protect your health. Let's get started. Let's begin with a fruit that everyone loves, pineapple. Pineapple is delicious, juicy, and carries an irresistible tropical flavor. Many people believe that pineapple is a hero in fighting inflammation thanks to bromelain, an enzyme praised everywhere. But here's something you should know. For people over 60, pineapple might not be the best friend you think it is. This fruit is packed with natural sugars and acid. When we're younger, our bodies handle that sugar just fine. But as we age, our blood vessels become more fragile, and our ability to regulate blood sugar diminishes. A sweet bite of pineapple can cause your blood sugar to spike, damaging the tiny blood vessels that nourish your legs and muscles. The result? You might experience leg pain after walking, stiff knees from standing too long, or even swollen ankles, even when you're sitting still. Moreover, the acidity in pineapple can irritate the joints, especially if you already suffer from arthritis or chronic pain. I remember the story of Mrs. Ayana, a friend of my mother's. She loved eating pineapple and often added it to her morning smoothies. But after a few months, she noticed her knees starting to ache, particularly at night. When she cut back on pineapple and replaced it with lower sugar fruits, the pain gradually disappeared. The scary thing about pineapple is that its harmful effects don't show up immediately. They build up over time. So, you might not realize it until it becomes hard to move around. My advice: you don't need to completely cut out pineapple, but eat it in moderation, especially if you've already noticed signs of leg pain or joint swelling. Next, let's talk about another common fruit, bananas. Bananas are soft, sweet, easy to eat, and rich in potassium. Sounds like the perfect choice, right? We often hear that bananas help prevent cramps and boost muscle strength. But for people over 60, bananas can be a sweet trap. Bananas are high in natural sugars and fast-digesting carbohydrates, which can cause a sudden spike in blood sugar. When this happens regularly, your body starts to become insulin-resistant, leading to inflammation and reduced blood circulation. You might feel heavy legs after meals, aching when climbing stairs, or stiffness in your joints in the morning. But that's not all. Bananas can also cause water retention, especially in people with heart issues. This leads to swollen ankles, stiff joints, and discomfort. I once met Mr. Koda, who loved eating bananas every day because he thought they were good for his muscles. But he didn't realize that this habit was causing his legs to swell and hurt more. When he cut back on bananas and switched to other fruits, he felt a lot lighter. So, if you eat bananas often and notice your legs feeling tired or swollen, it might be time to reconsider. One banana every now and then is fine, but don't let it become a daily habit. Now that we know about pineapples and bananas, 2 fruits that seem harmless but can actually cause problems, let's dive into other fruits and how they impact your legs. There's a tiny, cute fruit that actually poses a bigger risk than you might think. Can you guess what it is? Let's find out next. If you've been following along, you're probably as curious as I am about the other fruits that might be quietly affecting our health. Let's start with a small yet tempting fruit, grapes. Grapes are juicy, easy to eat, and often considered a healthy snack. Who doesn't love nibbling on a bunch of grapes while watching TV, right? But for people over 60, grapes can cause some unexpected problems. Grapes contain fructose, a sugar that's processed directly by the liver. When eaten in excess, fructose can convert into uric acid, which then builds up in the joints, causing pain and swelling, especially in the toes, ankles, and knees. Have you ever felt a sharp pain in your big toe at night or experienced stiffness in your knees after a normal day? That could be a sign of high uric acid levels, and grapes might be one of the culprits. On top of that, fructose also increases chronic inflammation in the body, slowing you down and putting pressure on your joints. The scary thing about grapes is how easy they are to eat. You might plan on having just a few, but before you know it, the whole bunch is gone. The sugar piles up quickly, damaging your legs. My advice is to limit your grape intake, especially if you've already noticed joint pain or swelling. Instead, try opting for lower sugar fruits, which we'll talk about next. Next, let's talk about watermelon, the symbol of summer and refreshment. Watermelon seems harmless, right? It's mostly water, low in calories, and feels like the perfect light snack. But here's the truth. Watermelon has a very high glycemic index, meaning it raises blood sugar levels as quickly as candy. For younger bodies, this might not be a big deal, but as we age, our ability to regulate insulin decreases, and these blood sugar spikes cause inflammation, particularly in the legs. You might feel fatigue in your calves, swollen ankles, or soreness when walking briskly. I remember the story of Ms. Winona, who loved eating watermelon during the summer. She thought it kept her body cool and hydrated, but she didn't realize that every time she had a few slices, her knees would ache. When she cut back on watermelon and replaced it with other fruits, she found it easier to climb stairs. Watermelon is easy to overeat because it's delicious and light, but don't let its harmless appearance fool you. If you notice your legs feel more tired after eating watermelon, try cutting back and see how your body responds. Now, let's move on to a fruit that everyone associates with health: oranges. Oranges are packed with vitamin C and often show up in juices or as part of breakfast. But for people over 60, oranges can be a silent enemy. Oranges contain citric acid, and while this is great for younger people, it can irritate the joints in older adults, especially if you have arthritis. This acid enters the bloodstream, worsening inflammation and making the knees, hips, or ankles hurt more. On top of that, the sugar in oranges can cause blood sugar fluctuations, which leads to increased inflammation throughout the body. I once heard someone say they drink orange juice every morning, thinking it boosts immunity. But they didn't realize that this habit was making their knees stiffen every morning. When they switched to less acidic fruits, they found their body became more flexible. If you love oranges, try eating them in moderation and pairing them with protein-rich foods to reduce the impact on blood sugar. But if you've already noticed joint pain, it might be time to say goodbye to that morning glass of orange juice. We've made our way through an interesting journey from grapes and watermelon to oranges, but there are still a few more fruits to watch out for, along with some excellent alternatives to keep your legs healthy. Are you ready to explore more? Let's dive right in. All right, we've explored some common fruits that could be harming your legs once you're over 60. Now, let's move on to the last two fruits on the list, and then I'll share some alternative options to help you feel healthier and more flexible. First, let's talk about green apples, a fruit that seems safe because it's less sweet. Green apples are crisp, fresh, and many people choose them as a healthy snack. But did you know that green apples contain malic acid, the compound responsible for their tart taste? This acid can irritate the digestive system and joints in older adults. As we age, the lining of the stomach becomes more sensitive and malic acid can seep into the joints, causing pain in the hips, thighs, or knees. Some people even experience a burning sensation in their feet or joint stiffness after regularly eating green apples. Also, even though they're less sweet, green apples still contain natural sugars, which can cause blood sugar fluctuations in people with slower metabolisms. Have you ever had leg cramps at night or felt weak in your legs while climbing stairs? That could be a sign of the green apples you've been eating daily. Instead of eating raw green apples, try cooking them or choose other fruits that are lower in acid. Finally, Let's talk about mangoes, the fruit as sweet as candy. Mangoes are soft, fragrant, and who doesn't love them in the summer? But for people over 60, mangoes are a sugar bomb. They contain a very high amount of natural sugar, which causes a rapid and significant spike in blood sugar levels. This leads to inflammation in the joints, especially in the ankles, hips, and knees. If you have nerve issues, you might experience a burning sensation in your toes, numbness, or swelling in the evening. Since mangoes are light and easy to eat, many people unknowingly consume too much, worsening the condition. I remember the story of Mr. Tala, a man who loved eating mangoes. He thought they were a natural dessert, better than candy, but he didn't realize that every mango season, his legs would hurt and swell more. When he cut back on mangoes, his body felt lighter. So, if you love mangoes, try to eat them in moderation and pair them with fiber-rich foods to reduce their impact. Now, you might be thinking, what should I eat then? Don't worry. There are plenty of amazing fruits that help keep your legs healthy and reduce joint pain. First, let's talk about berries like blueberries, raspberries, or strawberries. They're low in sugar, packed with antioxidants, and help improve blood circulation, reduce swelling, and ease joint stiffness. Just a handful of berries each day can make a big difference. Next up is cherries, but eat them in moderation. Cherries help lower uric acid, prevent joint pain, and soothe the burning sensation in your knees. Avocados are also a great choice. Yes, avocados are fruits, and they contain healthy fats that help reduce inflammation and protect your joints. You can add them to smoothies or salads. Papayas are another great option, easy to digest and packed with anti-inflammatory enzymes. Finally, pears are a mildly sweet fruit that doesn't cause a rapid spike in blood sugar, keeping you energized without hurting your legs. We've come a long way from recognizing the fruits to discovering some great alternatives. The important thing is that you don't need to give up fruit. You just need to choose the right ones that suit your body at this stage of life. Small changes like swapping one mango for a handful of berries can make a big difference. You'll feel lighter on your feet, more flexible in the morning, and most importantly, you'll be taking care of yourself. I'd love to hear from you. What did you learn from this video? Are there any fruits you're planning to cut back on? Or, well, maybe you want to try a new fruit substitute. Share your thoughts in the comments. Your story might inspire others. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on more valuable health tips. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell. Remember, no matter your age, you deserve to live healthily and full of energy. Wishing you happiness and good health.